Candidates, thank you very much. And Casino will tell me when 30 seconds is up.
Such an evil question.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Just that'll be nice. Okay, starting with Iris, you have a minute to answer both those questions.
So would I cut funding to allow new societies to form? No, I wouldn't. I would make sure that all societies get a fair share of the budget that's available to societies. I'll also help you to fundraise and organize events for you to raise money for your society. So no, I will not cut funds for your societies. And what's my favorite society? Well, I'm a member of the Juggling Society, so that definitely has to be my favorite. It's loads of fun. We also get involved with loads of events, such as charities. So juggling is definitely my favorite society. But I do support all other societies as well. I'm a member of several other societies, so I will not favor any one society over the other. Thank you.
Skirting society funding for new societies, if the budget says the same, you will have to. Maybe not directly for a while, but eventually new societies will take money away from older societies unless the budget keeps increasing. That's an inevitable fact. But it's just a case of balancing it out between a fair system where new societies and old societies get the amount they need, and just sorting out from that. As for favourite society, well, much like ours, I'm in many societies. But for choosing my favourite one is easy for me, since it's just where a lot of my friends are, and just where I spend a lot of my time, which is the role-playing society. And that's all right.
For the first question, I don't think you necessarily need to cut funding. I think you just have to spread it more out, and everyone has to get their fair share, and you have to encourage societies to think how they can raise funds themselves. I mean, there's many ways through sponsorship, through holding fundraising events, and then that will increase their funds, and then they have to just carefully spend their funds so they don't overspend. And for the second question, I have to be quite biased and go with the society that's close to my heart, because I set it up with two of my best friends, and that's the UNICEF and Campus Society, because we go and help raise money for UNICEF, obviously, and we go into schools and teach children about human rights, so I would go for that one.
The first question, I don't believe you should cut funding at all. In the first year, 2007, when I started here in Aberdeen, the societies were given a rough idea to charge £3 for membership, but this fluctuates greatly. Geography Society at the current moment do not have a membership fee. Other societies have membership fees of £10, £15, £20. I believe that if we create unity between the membership prices, like I stated in my speech, then there'll be greater funding for everyone. I believe in quality over quantity as well. Although I do encourage people to start societies, I believe making the ones that we have at the moment better as well. The second question, because I'm a third year geography student, and I've been involved in the Geography Society for 3 years as Treasurer, Vice President and President, I've also been on the Education Committee as the School Committee of Geosciences, so obviously Geography Society, my departmental society, is my favourite. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up is education. Okay, 30 seconds thinking time, 30 seconds per question. So there's 2 questions, it'll be a minute per question. How will you improve the representation of the class rep system? And what would you do to improve job link and volunteering, the services AUSA provide? So if the education employability candidates could stand up, 30 seconds thinking. And we'll add one more in, the one which Sandy will pass to me, whichever is the nicest. Okay. Okay, so you'll have a minute and a half to answer these 3 questions. How are you planning to develop employability committee next year, and what role should it play to benefit students? Okay. Okay, I'll quickly say the 3 again, just because we added 1 last second. How will you improve the representation of the class rep system? What would you do to improve job link and volunteering? And how are you planning to develop employability committee next year? And what role should it play to benefit students? We'll start with Christian.
No problem. Right, cheers. Thanks very much. Okay, we'll start with job link and how I'd go about improving that. Job link's pretty simple. Currently, the way that you have to access the website is you have to log in. Then you have to go and apply for the jobs, add them to your favourites, then you have to wait for a delay of normally about 24 hours, maybe even longer to 48 hours, or you can even then go and apply for the job. I've never used a job search website that actually makes you wait 24 hours before you get the details to contact a job. So yeah, first of all, it's redevelopment of the website. Second of all, for the Job Link Centre is get them to bring more employability fairs here to this university. We're fantastic at getting them up to Edinburgh and getting them to Glasgow. Let's bring them a little bit further up. Let's get them here in Aberdeen. We've got some fantastic departments at this university. Engineering, education, medicine. Let's start getting the internships. Let's start getting those employability sectors to come up and get our students. We're top students here. So the next question was class representatives. How am I going to change class representatives? Speaking to a student this morning, they first year psychology. Psychology roughly has about 700 students in a class in first year. It's a lot of students to kind of minder. So therefore, it's either by improving the class rep system, you can put in the more class representatives to ensure it, but it's ensuring that the departments know who your class reps are and utilise them. It's the biggest thing. So it's getting the departments a much bigger awareness of who they are and how to get them involved, and that's the job of President of Education and Employability, to do that. Sorry about the third question.
Adam, next please.
I'll start with the class reps. As the current Vice President for Education, I've attended quite a few class rep trainings and Sparks trainings this past year. I can tell you, none of them know who any of us on the Education Committee are. The school conveners, the President, even myself. And this has to change. There has to be some way for them to know where their policy comes from and how it gets affected right through the chain to the class reps. This I would do at the start of the year by holding class rep elections in the first 3 weeks of term, and then have a mass meeting with all the school conveners and the President and the Vice President for Education so they know where the policy are going to come from and how it's going to be done over the course of the year. I'd also create a new position of College Vice President to ensure that in the colleges, the school conveners are on top of the class reps, coordinating them and making sure they're doing their job properly. As for the links between the Career Services and Job Link, that's probably the only candidate who's actually spoken to the Job Link people and the Career Services. Peter Phantom at Career Services told me that they want more, that the move to boot chart was perhaps regrettable because at the beginning they were both side by side and now Job Link's moved across to boot chart. So that kind of communication has been lost. I'd perhaps think about moving or having a hot link desk upstairs to Job Link so they can keep in communication together. As for the Employability Committee, I would suggest that they do things like this thing called Employability Fair, which should promote things like personal development planning, which would look at things like volunteering, NV Award, NASIS, which is to do with part-time employment for students, and to make sure that they get opportunities over there for employability. And I think that's all I have to say on that.
So, first for class reps, I would definitely provide more training for them, but I would also provide a handbook for them, which would have a list of aims that they should be striving to, and a list of contacts for them to get in touch with, either myself if I'm elected, or the student president, or heads of departments and school conveners. I would like to have meetings with the class reps at the beginning of the year and at the end of the term, and with the school conveners and hopefully the head of departments. Communication is absolutely key on this one, and everyone needs to know about it. Transparency, communication. For Job Link and volunteering, I want to work with charities, pair up with charities, and make more opportunities for students to volunteer within the city. I want the Job Link to provide this, and I want the Employability Committee to help do this, and I think that they should be doing more employability fairs, but also getting more companies, more internships, making sure that you can get a job after uni. This should be their aim. Okay, thank you.